Hey guys, so today we're going to be putting in our sprinkler system here on our farm, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. If you haven't put in a sprinkler system, go ahead and watch this video, and by the end of it you'll know what to do. So I'll go ahead and I'll just start explaining it now. Let's get into it. So first of all, if you've got a farm or a home or wherever you're going to put the sprinkler system, you need a water source, and in my case I've got a well. So this is where it all starts. If you've got a big farm and you've got a lot of sprinkler heads to deal with, then you're going to need a holding tank. So what I do in my case is I go ahead and I pump from my well straight into my holding tank, and this is a 32,000 litre tank, and it's enough for me to do my farm. So with my tank, I use a 2 HP pump that can do 160 sprinkler heads at a time, and I've got my farm divided into 3 sections, and today we're currently doing the last section. So each section has 160 sprinkler heads, and this pump can take care of all that. If you want to send nutrients out to your farm or your lawn, wherever you're putting your sprinkler system in at, you're going to probably want to look at getting a Mozzie injector. And what this does basically is if you want to put nutrients in through your sprinkler systems, you go ahead and just extend this hose, and let's say into a bucket that you put liquid fertilizer in or some type of homemade fertilizer, and you can send it directly out to your grass or your farm, and it works wonderful. It's a great alternative. So the next thing you're going to need are valves, and just like I spoke about, I separate my farm into 3 sections, and these are the 3 valves that I use. Now if you've got a regular sprinkler system at home, or if you want a high-tech farm, you can make these electronic and put them on a timer, or you could do it through Bluetooth with a phone and whatnot, a little bit over the top. But for my application, it's fine. I use a 3-inch valves. I turn them on. I like to be at my farm when I water. The reason for that is some of your sprinkler heads can break, get clogged up, and if you're doing all this remote and you're not driving your farm, then you're not going to know if you have an issue, and that possibly could lead to something dying. So I do manual valves, and again, when I water, I walk my farm. I make sure once you switch your valve on and you determine on what section you're going to water on your lawn or on your farm, it's important to run your main line down to the 50% mark, whatever you're going to be watering in your land. So this particular land on average is 220 meters long from side to side. I'll be running my my pipes from left to right as we're looking here, okay? So what I did is I brought my main line in, which is a 3-inch line. I brought it down from the barn all the way down, and then cut across to the end of my rows here, okay? And I've got a 3-inch pipe. And the reason why I have it sticking out of the ground here is for 2 reasons, okay? The first reason is I'm going to be able to flush my lines. If you get stuff in there, debris from installing your system, you're going to have debris in there, and you want to be able to take that cap off, turn your system on, and let it flush. I did that with the test that we ran, so we've already did that. Number 2, there's gonna be an air gap in there. So basically, when you turn on your pump and that water comes rushing down your line, this air gap will absorb a lot of that pressure coming in, so it's not a sudden shock on your system, and you start blowing pipes and breaking pipes, and you have water leaks everywhere. Once you put your main line in and you've got it installed at the 50% mark, then you're gonna be coming up off of your main line into your rows, okay? For example, this one here, we've got it all pre-dug. So I've got a 2-inch pipe coming up. This row here is about 100 meters, this particular one. This is 7th row, it's a half row. So 50 meters out, I'm gonna run 2-inch pipe, and then I'm gonna end up tapering it down to 1.5 inches. The reason why we're doing that is to keep adequate pressure, equal pressure down. If I just run 2-inch all the way down, it's going to be low pressure at the end. There won't be enough pressure, and the sprinkler system won't push out as hard as it will, say, the first couple right here. So halfway down, we're going to taper down to 1.5 inches, and so it should keep the pressure relatively the same. And off of this line here too, we're going to go ahead and to each one of our trees, we're going to run a 1-inch. So we'll run a 1-inch. We'll tee off from this secondary main coming off right to where we're going to put our durian trees. Now, if you've got grass and you're doing grass or you're doing a hay field or whatever, it's the same method. You're going to come off of it and you're going to gauge, the spread of your sprinkler head also. The particular sprinkler heads that I'm putting on, okay, will go as far as a 4-meter radius. But I can change them out to do a 5 or 6 meter radius also, a different variety of them. And I use a wobbler top. So basically, when I turn the water on, and I jump on the motorbike or get on the tractor or whatever, and I cruise the lines, and if I see something, one of these wobbler tops, they could be clogged up, a little bit of debris, little fungi, or something can get in there, and we can either tap it with a stick, or you jump off, and they can easily come off on the top, and you just reset it. So those are recommended. So guys, this is the gist. This is a sum up of how to install a irrigation system in your farm or your home. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple, but if you just follow these this basic information, yeah, you should be just fine. You'll be good. So here in this particular farm, we've got a lot of rows. And like I said, on average, each row is 220 meters. And I'm in Thailand. This is my durian farm. So, you know, we don't get all the equipment that we may get back home. If you're from Australia or Europe or America and you're thinking about putting a farm in Thailand, know one thing: you're not going to get a trencher like you can back home, a small trencher that you can just attach to the back of your truck, go rent it for the day. I've got manual labor out here to do this. So I've got 1,350 meters of pipe delay, which is over a kilometer, like 1.3 in fact. So we're digging all that. It's all done by hand, guys. I mean, it's crazy. It's a lot of digging. But they've already I've got 3 people doing it, and we've already did 2 rows today, this morning. And basically what made it easy for us to dig it out, I'll explain that now. If you're gonna be making rows, like I made here for your durian or whatever fruit orchard you're putting in, I recommend rows so you don't get root rot, right? That's the whole reason why we elevate the trees, eliminate root rot. Especially here in Asia, a lot of rain, a lot of monsoon season, a lot of moisture. But when we made this, I first did it with a 3 blade, and we went to a 6 blade, and we piled everything up. And then when I was satisfied with that, I went ahead and I brought a rototiller in. And so this has all been rototilled. And we're set up about 50 centimeters above the normal height of the land here. And it's all fluffy dirt. It's all been rototilled. So digging out the irrigation lines, super easy, right? But as far as the main line's about 60 cm on average down, but when it goes across the row, it gets over a meter because, you know, the row is much higher, right? And so we did that with a backhoe. And if you looked at my video prior to this, you'll see we used a backhoe for that. Small backhoe. I mean, I think it took 6 hours for them to dig it and then to bury it the same day, because we put the main line in the same day. It had some issues, but it worked out okay. So yeah, guys, so this is my tips on how to install a good irrigation system at your farm. If you got any questions, go ahead and hit me up. You know, put some questions in the comment section, and I'll you know, be more than happy to answer them. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. If you're into farming here in Thailand, or you're thinking about doing something different to earn some money, you can actually earn quite a bit of money farming the right fruit trees in Thailand. You'll be really surprised. And if you made it this far, give me a like. So make sure you give me a like, guys. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next video, and we'll see you soon.